In this video, I'll be trying to animate a backflip in 1 second and 1 hour. But here's the twist. I'll be using 3 different softwares, and all are free to download. For the first animation software, we'll have to spin the wheel to decide. Well, it seems like we're going with sticknodes for the first attempt.
Obi-Wan, may the Force be with you.
Alright, for the 1 second attempt, I'll be trying to at least get the stickman to move. Although it's practically impossible to animate in a second, let's see what I can cook up. I'll add a frame and try to move it in 1 second. That should at least count. I managed to do this in a second. I mean, it's somewhat like a backflip, right? Or is it a front flip? Anyways, on to the next attempt. For the 10-second attempt, I'll be using flipaclip. I'll use 12 frames per second. Hopefully it comes out good. The stickman might go out of shape here cause I was rushing to meet up with the time. I was able to finish it in 10 seconds. Tell me what you think. Did I do good with the 10-second animation? It kinda looks like a backflip, right? As you can probably tell by now, I'll be using Draw Cartoons 2 for the 1-minute attempt. It'll be my first attempt at using the app. Hopefully the animation comes out decent. On opening the app, the home screen is user-friendly and quite easy to navigate. I'll just create a new cartoon and try to play around with the tools to at least get a hang of them before animating the backflip. I toyed around with the imported stick figure. It was giving me some sticknodes vibe. I figured it shouldn't be hard to animate with this. Alright, now that I'm kinda familiar with the workspace, let's get the 1-minute attempt started. I want him to jump up forward then flip backwards. It's a stylish type of backflip. For this, I'll make him crouch. Animating on Draw Cartoons 2 almost feels like animating on sticknodes because the stick is moved with nodes. About 20 seconds in and I've made 3 frames. I hope I finish the animation on time. It would have been easier for me if I could figure out how to copy and paste frames so I wouldn't have to drag the stickman from the start position all the time. Maybe in some other video I'll take my time to learn and master the tools and environment for Draw Cartoons 2. For now, I'll just wing it and hope for the best. With 15 seconds left, I knew I had to bring the animation to an end. I don't expect this to be good since I just animated everything straight ahead with terrible spacing and no easing. Still, I'll just finish up the animation and hope for the best. Finally, here's the result. The animation looks somewhat like a backflip, right? I mean, aside the terrible landing, this could easily pass as a backflip, right guys? Right? For the 10-minute attempt, I'll be going with sticknodes. If you've been watching previous videos on the channel, you'll know that I've been trying to master sticknodes these days, so I'll be animating the 10-minute time-lapse backflip on it. I just added a simple line background. I'll be animating the stickman on the layer above it. Before I go on with the animation, here's a quick run-through of what I intend to animate in 10 minutes and how I plan to animate it. First things first, I'll animate the backflip with keyframes, then I'll come back to use the tween tool to add in-betweens to the animation. I plan to make the backflip look like a falling one, where the stickman jumps and does the backflip almost falling into the ground. Now back to the animation. I'll make him crouch to gain some momentum for the backflip. After gathering the momentum, the next thing is for him to jump off the ground. I won't spend too much time on the build-up for the jump. I can always come back to it in-betweens later. That's if I have enough time, of course. While falling back, I want him to curl and hold his legs during the back turn. As I said earlier, the backflip is like a falling backflip where he almost hits his head but manages to land on his feet, so I'll make him hold his legs down till the last minute. The stickman clutches at last minute and saves himself from falling. After that, he stands up from the ground, a pretty interesting backflip if you ask me. Alright, I'ma leave you guys to enjoy the short time lapse. I'm finally done with the keyframes. I tested out the animation before going for the in-betweens. I think we've got something decent on our hands. Time to work on the in-betweens and hope for the best. I've got around 3 minutes to finish up the animation. At this point, I knew I couldn't spend a lot of time on the in-betweens, so I was working at light speed. The animation of the part where he stands up was somewhat tricky, but I was using the tween tool in sticknodes to help get it right. It's safe to say this was my favorite sticknodes animation I've made up to this point in my learning journey. I can't wait to see how it turns out eventually. I used the last 1 minute to finish up the animation and ease him back into the upright position. After that, I saved and exported my project. After exporting my project, I took out some time to add sound effects to spice up the animation. Well, that's what I was able to pull off in 10 minutes on sticknodes. It's not much, but I think it's decent. Now it's time for the one. Let's get right into the 1 hour attempt. For this attempt, it'll be a backflip involving 4 cuts, each of them showing the stickman from different angles. Allow me to explain. So you see, the first cut is of him raising his hands, the second will be a shot of him bending in anticipation for the flip, the third will be a shot of him flipping, and finally the fourth cut is of him landing to the ground. On the second cut, I want him to jump up and down before the final crouch for the flip, sort of like a warm-up. I'll make him repeat this several times before going to the next cut. In this cut, he bends down in anticipation for the backflip jump. I'll be sure to ease him into the bend position so it looks good. After I'm done with that cut, the next one is of him finally taking off the ground and flipping. I'll be animating this on ones. On the frame where he lands, I'll switch to the final cut and call it a day. I'll add a smear frame in between to the flip here to make the motion smooth. Finally, for the stickman animation, I'll add heads to the stickman body. With less than 10 minutes left, I had to rush the animation to add backgrounds before my time goes up. But before I added backgrounds, I took out a few minutes and rushed to add smoke effect to the stickman on landing. In the last few minutes, I drew and added in the backgrounds, exported my project, and edited it. Well, that's what I was able to cook up in an hour. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this and check out the tutorial playlist to learn.